As you see, I don't like the word principal, I like the word president. And this is a sports idrætshøjskole, Gerlev Idrætshøjskole. But in my English, I will be translating this into Gerlev Sports Academy, or in fact, Gerlev Physical Education and Sports Academy. This is our place. And you have been listening the whole day to all the values from the efterskole. The students at the efterskole are normally 16 to 17 years old. Then, if you just take 4, 5 more years later, then you have the young ones, the age group, 20 to 25. And at that time, they are so much more mature. And they are even much better have the skill to reflect, to discuss, to debate. What do we do here on such a place? And compared to the other højskole, then this place here, Gerlev, happened to be the oldest sports academy or sports højskole in Denmark. We celebrate 80 years anniversary this year. There's one big difference too. When you look at the efterskole, then all the kids, normally those who are coming from Denmark at least, then the parents are paying. But 5 years later, unfortunately, the parents are not paying any longer. Then it is the students themselves who have to make up the decision to find out how can I get money enough to pay to be on one of the Danish højskoler. So they are devoted. They have spent their own money and they spend their own time without examination, as mentioned before. Anyway, we happen to have a very nice cooperation with South Korea. We have here you see a group of students from Sukmyong Women's University, together with the Korean ambassador and his wife. We also have students from Wusong University, from Busan, and we have been cooperating with South Korea for quite a long time. And there is a reason. This is the reason. 40 years ago, in 1978, the young man to the right with the mustache, me. I was working as advisor for the South Korean Ministry of Education to develop physical activity in the Korean schools. So I lived here for 2 years. The other young man standing there, Mr. Min-Soo Kim, he happened, after being together with me for 2 years, he got the possibility from the Danish government to study Danish education in Denmark. So he went and spent 1 year in Denmark to learn about our system. Please, Min-Soo Kim, you are here. Stand up. That's him. That's the old man down there. To be teaching here was quite amazing. I would like to say this is the young man here. This is me teaching. And I was educating all the Korean teachers all over Korea. And I have to admit, when I came into the class, all the students were, because I had small pants on. Normally at that time, all the professors, they were having their suit on. So it was a little bit unusual, but it was a tremendous time because I had the possibility to travel all over Korea with this team 40 years ago to demonstrate Danish gymnastics, rhythmical movements for the health and wellness. Later on, well, I have had the pleasure, I have been here every year for 40 years, visiting Korea. So this is my home country. I have had the pleasure to work as guest professor, and just to give you a little bit background, why is the connection to Gerlev? I was a teacher at this place, Gerlev, when I was asked to be working for your government. So there has been a close connection to Gerlev since then. We at Gerlev, we have a global outlook. We have been doing this for many, many years, and it's nice to see how efterskoler and højskoler today are so much international involved. We do the same. We are working all over the world. In fact, 40% of my students, they happen to be internationals. We are, especially beside Korea, then I happen to work very much in China. We have an MOU, a written cooperation with 25 universities spread all over China. We are teaching and cooperating with India. We are teaching here in Indonesia. And as a special part of our Højskole, then we have a special center for play and traditional sport and games. This center is 20 years old today, and it is influencing our thinking, our pedagogical way of thinking, because we believe that today we need much more fun in our education. And using a playful approach in our teaching is very important. Oh, it reminds me, this is happy education. I would like to change it a little bit. We have a saying in Denmark, which is, happy wife, happy life. Happy wife, happy life. But I think we should change that saying to say, happy students, happy society. We believe very much that we are able to create a special atmosphere by using our work with play and games as part of our teaching too. Yeah. We are crazy. We are working together as our academy. We are working together with the World Health Organization, promoting how can we avoid what we have been doing here the whole day, a sedentary lifestyle. You have been sitting here since 9 o'clock this morning. So we are fighting, promoting how can we get people more physical active. This is part of our DNA at Gerlev. And this is our ship. We are using this ship as a messenger where we are visiting. For 4 years, we've been visiting more than 100 harbors in Denmark, promoting physical activity. And our students who stay at Gerlev from 6, 8 to 10 months, they live. 10 students live in this ship, and they will be teaching when we are arriving at the harbor. We are working with schools, we are working with mentally handicapped, and we are using play building instead of team building at some of the big companies in Denmark. But we feel that we have a special learning environment for international students. We have been working so long time with the international students. In the beginning, we were translating from Danish to English, English to Danish, but the last 10 years, we only speak English at Gerlev. This is our specialities. In our place, by the Danish law, of course, we are very much involved in physical activity and different sport, but we are not allowed to have more than 50% of our teaching has to be related to sport alone. So the other half of our stay will be all kind of study subjects where you, in a different way, also develop yourself, philosophy, psychology, and so on, art. We run a special 5 weeks education program for Korean teachers and students. All my other, I would say, international students, they stay 4, 6, or 10 months. However, I have this special program designed for Korea, a 5 weeks program. And the reason is that it turned up for me that I'm working with students from your universities because of my many years of teaching here. So we want to have the possibility to get Korean students, and then we need to use the possibility that they, in their vacations, are visiting and staying with us. That's why we have a 5 weeks program running. And during those 5 weeks, they are introduced to all kind of activity, and especially something which the Koreans are saying, what is that? This is, in fact, something called parkour or free running, which happen to be more and more popular in South Korea. Little Gerlev in Denmark happened to be the first place in the world to build a parkour park for pedagogical reasons. Not just to do it by how can we use it in a pedagogical way. Fortunately, we have a very close relationship with the Korean embassy, and the ambassadors are working or visiting us as guest teachers, and they are so interested in what we are doing at our place. So that's very good for me to know that we have a very close relationship with Korea, also on a very official way. Thank you very much.